Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the November 12th County Council meeting. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Let's start off Auditor's Financial Report. Jennifer?
We started the year with a beginning net balance of $7,996,572. You've granted additional appropriations in the amount of $4,207,318 and taking away miscellaneous expenditures of $26,773 leaves us $3,762,481 for appropriation. Requests before you today are $135,000. On the revenue report, just wanted to point out that we did receive some additional DOC money, $470,000, bringing us up to $605 for the year. I believe that was through October that those receipts were for, so I don't know if they plan to give any additional before the end of the year. I think that was all I wanted to report on there. We're sitting at 82.8% collected, being 83.3% through the year. So I'm guessing we're still going to come in around 100, maybe a little bit more than that, depending on how the property tax collections come in. As far as fund balances, Fund 1203 tax sale fees, we did just pay out some expenses, but that should be made whole by the end of the year and into the positive. And then 4710 self-insurance is holding steady, shouldn't need additional funding for this year. As far as Fund 8950, that is our ARPA funds. We are less than half now that we have remaining, and those are to be spent out by the end of 26. And that was all I had there. I believe I'm giving the treasurer report as well, if you want me to go ahead with that. Rates fell again in October, so the rate now is 4.28%. Average, the weighted average was 4.27. Total on hand is $210,816,661, and we had total interest for the month of $640,943.40. Rates dropped again, though, toward the end of October, so that should be around 4 next month. The general fund has collected 60% of the total for all funds, and that total is almost $7 million collected for all funds. So comparing it to our forecast, we're about 86.5% over, or 86.5% collected, which is slightly higher than where we are for the year. So I guess I'll take any questions on either of those reports.
Any questions for Jennifer? All right, thank you.
I did have one other thing, the minutes. There was one change in the financial report section that we changed. Requests for September is what it had said, but it's requests for October. So if you could make that amendment as well when you approve.
Okay.
And that was all I had.
All right, thank you. All right, any public comment on any of the agenda items today? No? All right, let's move forward. Probation petty cash increase. Everybody should have received a letter in your packet stating they're wanting to go from $100 in petty cash to $200 in petty cash. But before we have any other comments, we probably need to get a motion on the table in a second for this.
I'll make a motion to allow them to have up to $200 of petty cash on hand.
Second.
All right, I have a motion in place from Councilman Murray, second from Councilman Richard. Discussion.
Thank you. Dave Hollinger from your probation department. Simply put, we just have, more often, we're seeing individuals coming in paying probation fees and bringing in $100 bills, and we break it for change, and we find our petty cash drawer down to almost nothing at that point. And we're just asking to have an additional $100 in the petty cash. It just assists with payments. This is a request coming from my office manager and also both my admin staff also that sit up front that are turning people away. Sometimes we push them down in the clerk's office or tell them to go to the bank next door, and we just don't want to lose that opportunity to capture that fee right then and there. So,
Okay,
thank you.
you're welcome. Any questions or comments from the council? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, consent agenda.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda with the amendment as stated by the auditor.
Second.
Motion in place from Councilman Murray, second from Councilman Richard. Any comments, questions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Additional appropriations, Superior Court 3, Judge Graham, General Fund 1,000 appropriation.
Make a motion, we approve the general fund appropriation of $135,000.
Second.
Motion in place from Councilman Murray, second from Councilwoman Vernon. Comments, discussion?
This is, she's had additional institutional care expenses that she is averaging just under $37,000 a month in expenses, along with a need for additional pauper counsel due to the cases that is coming through her court.
Do we think this will carry her through to the end of the year?
Yes, she does.
Okay. Any questions from council? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. Community corrections.
Make a motion, we approve the Comprehensive Opioid Abuse Program Fund 8665 appropriation in the amount presented.
Second.
Motion in place from Councilman Murray, second from Councilwoman Vernon. Discussion, comments?
Corey, is there anything you want to talk about this?
Sorry. Not really. It's really just appropriating some money that we have left from a grant that will allow us to fund a position that we have and some incidentals for the rest of 25 and 2026.
Any questions from council? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
Highway.
Make a motion, we approve the Local Road and Street Fund 1169 appropriation in the amount of $50,000.
Second.
Motion in place from Councilman Murray, second from Councilwoman Vernon. Good morning.
Good morning. Stu's out today. But this is, we hired a contractor to recrush all of our millings out of the villa and make them more consistent so we can use them for paving and other projects that we have.
Any questions from council? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Motor Vehicle Highway Restrictive Fund.
Make a motion, we approve the Motor Vehicle Highway Restricted Fund 1173 appropriation in the amount of $200,000.
Second.
Motion in place from Councilman Murray, second from Councilwoman Vernon. Discussion.
And this is, again, us catching up from all the extra projects we had in the spring and making sure that we have enough for upcoming projects that pop up. So we're just keeping supplies on hand.
Any questions from council? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. Sheriff.
I'll make a motion that we approve the Inmate Medical Fund 4715 appropriation in the amount of $30,000.
Second.
I have a motion in place from Councilwoman Vernon, second from Councilman Murray. Discussion?
No, I'm kidding. No, this is just so we can pay our medical bills. They keep going up, as you know, and we've got to pay them. So the biggest increase we're seeing, last month, it was a little lower, but it's for prescription medications. I don't know what the percentage is offhand, but the majority of the people in our facility are on medication.
Okay, any discussion? Questions from council? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
I'll make a motion to approve inmate medical copay fund 4719 appropriation of $30,000.
Second.
Motion in place from Councilwoman Vernon, second from Councilman Murray. Discussion.
And this is the same thing, but this is the money that is paid, that goes into the commissary at the end of each month, just builds up, and we're using it to pay medical bills and for prescriptions.
Any questions from council? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners,
I'll make a motion that we approve rainy day fund 1186 appropriation in the amount of $1 million.
Second.
motion in place from Councilwoman Vernon, second from Councilman Murray.
Good morning,
Discussion.
everyone. We're before you today requesting an additional appropriation of $1 million from Rainy Day Fund to serve as a loan to the town of Clarks Hill. They're undergoing some wastewater issues and are trying to correct that. And on the 3rd of November, the Board of Commissioners approved a loan agreement between Tippecanoe County and the town of Clarks Hill, and it involves basically repayment, or payment to them spread out over 3 payments in 2026 to minimize the amount of lost interest, although it doesn't sound like it's going to be as much interest as it would have been in the past based on rates. That document, again, is awaiting the signature of the president of the town board, and I'd like to call the folks from Commonwealth Engineering, and, well, it would be Rob Bellucci from Commonwealth and Sean Kleinpeter, their financial advisor, to talk a little bit about how the process is going to work for them.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Council. Procedurally, this appropriation will allow the town to complete design phase, permitting, and bidding phase activities for the upgrades to their existing wastewater treatment plant, and get to a point where they can then close on their long-term financing and then be able to then repay the county back. We anticipate this to happen in the first quarter of next fiscal year, so probably September-ish is when we should have bids in hand and be in a position to close on that financing, and then the town, at closing, will then be able to repay the county.
Thank you.
Are there any questions, or Doug, do you have any comments about the loan process or the promissory notes?
Nothing too extensive. The documents are very much the same as what we used when we helped out the Romney Sewer District. And it, as Tracy said, it contemplates 3 different installments, so that's a little different. And they'll sign a promissory note for each one. The documents indicate that the expectation is that we'll get paid back when they get their financing from the state or the federal programs. And if somehow that doesn't work out, after a year, we have the ability to invoke a demand for repayment.
Thank you for your consideration, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Thank you. Any questions from council? Comments? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, committee reports.
I just want to bring up, just to be upfront and transparent, about institutional care for juveniles between both Superior 3 and the magistrate. In total, for the entire 2025, we've appropriated over $1 million for it. With the appropriation we approved today, it eclipsed the $1 million mark to the tune of $1,041,000. I have heard from some people that other juvenile facilities across the state are looking at increasing their rates, some quite dramatically. So I think there's some, again, discussion to be had about what are we going to do about that. It's getting harder and harder to place youth in facilities that are needed, and it's causing a burden and a hardship on some of our staff and our community. So I think there's discussion to be had about the juvenile facility. we've discussed at length and designed and have property for.
Thank you, Ben. Anything else? Any other committee reports? Unfinished business? None. New business? Commissioner, FYI.
That was all I had.
Okay. Public comment? Sure. Good morning.
Good morning. Frank Hannon, 3522 Ali Shiva Drive, West Lafayette, Wabash Township. I'm here to speak about the ongoing protests. Once the flowers bloom in spring, I'm sure they'll begin again. I'm a constitutional conservative who resolutely supports the rights outlined in the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, including the right of peaceful assembly, free speech, and to petition the government for perceived grievances. But I am also a fiscal conservative. I believe the most important fiduciary responsibilities of all government officials are public safety, fiscal prudence, accountability, and transparency. I do not support the premise or the messages promoted by these protests sponsored by national organizations and local organizations, including Greater Lafayette Indivisible, the League of Women Voters of Greater Lafayette, and others. But they are within their rights to continue these protests with maximum public safety. The government entities involved deem adequate to protect them, protect the public at large, protect public and private property. Senate Bill 1 has forced the county and all Indiana government entities to tighten their fiscal belts. Years 2 and 3 of SB 1 and beyond fiscally are uncertain. Every dollar spent outside the adopted county budget should be scrutinized and the public made aware of specific event and the amount it costs the taxpayer. If you do not know how much these events have cost the county taxpayers in 2025, I'm asking the county to do a forensic audit to find out. Then in a timely manner, release that information to the public. I also suggest that you track these expenses for the already adopted 2026 budget. These protests and possibly counter-protests will continue throughout the current president's term and maybe even beyond. In putting together the 2027 budget, I ask that you budget for them and track the direct and indirect costs of these types. And I would also hope that the city of Lafayette and West Lafayette would do the same. Thank you for your service to the county, and have a good day.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Good morning. My name is Pablo Malavenda, and I work at Lafayette Urban Ministry right down on 4th Street. I've been a resident of Tippecanoe County for 27 years. Today I'm here on behalf of another group. A few of us last year traveled to Indianapolis to see a documentary called Beyond the Bridge, A Solution to Homelessness. It was a powerful, eye-opening, but also hopeful and real practical solutions documentary. I remember leaving the theater thinking we need this conversation in Greater Lafayette. Now that's exactly what's happening tomorrow afternoon. The Greater Lafayette Homeless Steering Committee is hosting Beyond the Bridge, Film and Community Conversation for Change. This free event will feature the film, remarks from the two filmmakers who created the documentary and have a wealth of knowledge about the national crisis in the United States, a panel of local leaders, which includes Judge Wyatt, Jennifer Layton from LTHC Homeless Services, Wes Tillett from Lafayette Urban Ministry, Chris Campbell, State Rep, and two individuals who have experienced homelessness in Greater Lafayette and now are housed. There will be remarks at the end of the film from the mayors, the two mayors. We did have Commissioner Murtaugh, but yesterday he canceled. And this is not just a screening. Our hope is that it's a launch of a long-term movement to end homelessness right here in Greater Lafayette. Everyone's invited because everybody needs to be part of the solution. Faith leaders, residents, service providers, business leaders, elected officials, nonprofits, everybody. Judges, the judicial process, the prosecutors, because what you'll see in the film is that there needs to be a system to take someone who's experiencing homelessness and not just pass them from one office to another. Take them, give them the care they need, give them a home, and then get them to the point where they're in stable housing. What's missing is the county. I've not seen an RSVP from any council person or commissioner. The sheriff in his area are going to be well represented there, and of course, Judge Wyatt. But we really do need the county to be represented in this discussion. The filmmakers have said, they've been all over the country with this film. They've said no one has regretted seeing the film, but the day after, many, many people regret being there for the conversation and seeing the film. And I don't want you to be in that position. So I'm here to personally invite you. I'm sure you've seen emails from me, posts on social media. So hopefully this isn't a surprise that we're doing this tomorrow. But I do want you to be there and be represented.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for all your good work.
Any other public comment? All right, hearing none, next meeting is scheduled for December 9th, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, so